Hi, I'm Courtney at womenlivingwell.org, home of Good Morning Girls. And today we are starting part 3 in our series of Good Morning Girls Leaders Training. So today I want to talk to you about how to get started. If you're like, girl, I am in, I cannot wait to be a leader and encourage women to get into the Word, then today, but you're like, how do I do it? What should I do next? This is what you do next. Now, inside of our Good Morning Girls Leaders Manual, it looks like this. You'll find a free PDF version available below this video, or it's available out on Amazon. But inside of it, you will find a welcome letter, and it's kind of like an example of what one could look like. It's like how you could structure it, and so you can kind of copy it and just use it to send out an email or out on Facebook if you start a Facebook group where you introduce yourself and share a little about yourself as a leader, and then invite them to introduce themselves. We also have inside the Leader's Manual a big list of icebreaker questions. So you can ask them questions like, where's your favorite place you've ever gone on vacation? Or what is your favorite book you've read? Your favorite quote? What's your favorite room in the house? You know, things like that to get women talking and get them connecting and get them comfortable, because they're about to go a lot deeper with their sharing. Also in your welcome letter, you want to set the expectations, share some of the values of Good Morning Girls, and talk a little bit about commitment and how, if you're part of this group, you're committing to be a part Monday through Friday. I'll talk in the next video about what happens when they don't all chime in Monday through Friday, because it happens, but we at least want to lay that groundwork at the beginning so they know what the expectation is for the group. I also want you to encourage them to subscribe to my blog at womenlivingwell.org and to follow the Good Morning Girls Facebook page. First, I ask that you do that because all the resources you need to be a leader are going to be there, so you don't want to miss out on that. That's going to really help you, but it also helps them. Some women, if you're asking them from your neighborhood or from your church, they may have never heard of Women Living Well Ministries, so they have no idea what they've just gotten themselves involved in, and so it's important that they can find the website, that they have the link, that they're getting the resources too, so they're in the know and they can follow along. Also, it's important that you create opportunities for your group to meet. Now, my group, we meet once a month. I love our girls' nights. They're not spiritual, really. I mean, they are, because we share a lot of things going on in our lives and we're always encouraging each other. But it's just a fun night out. Last time we got together, it was just for coffee. But sometimes it's dinner, sometimes we go shopping. Every summer, we go on a little trip, like a getaway for one night. We make sure we celebrate each other's birthdays. And we also always celebrate Christmas together. So it's really a community. Our accountability group has grown over the years into much more than just a daily accountability. It is a deep friendship. And that doesn't happen in every group. And at the beginning of my group, like who was there in 2007 and who is in my group now in 2019, it has changed. There's been a revolving door of women coming and going. And so that's why I mentioned in the last video about how, women will step out and that's okay. And then we'll invite new women in. But it's fun to see how God joins our hearts, knits them together through His Word, through the Holy Spirit. And so you might decide that you can't do a monthly meeting, but maybe you want to do one meeting right at the start to meet with each other and sort of kick off the Bible study season, or maybe at the end of a study, you want to get together and celebrate the completion of it. When I led Bible studies in my church back in the old days before I was blogging, we used to do that at the end of every study. We would have a little celebration. So that's fun for women, and so you want to keep it, just that connection. In the same way, when women are sharing their hearts, it is important as a leader that you respond back to them by saying, thank you for sharing that thought, or I'm praying for you. If you're out on Facebook and it's in a Facebook group, it's really important that you click like, that you saw it. That just means a lot, so women don't feel like they're sharing and then there's crickets and no one's responding. As a leader, you be the one who responds and lead the other women in responding as well. Also, it's important that you take note of their prayer requests and try to follow up with them and see, how they're doing and, what's going on with them. And sometimes just sending a message to a girl who maybe has been kind of quiet to make sure she's okay and make sure that you noticed that she's missing. I know that's a big thing in the church, that sometimes families will leave the church and no one contacts them, and they're so hurt by that because no one seemed to notice. We want to be people who say, I see you and I value you, because God sees each one of us as his children, and he loves us and he values us. And so I encourage you, with that group that God has entrusted to you, that you make sure that you are accountable for each one of them in that sense, and that you notice when one is hurting and you reach out to them and you lead them with love as a servant, being there for them. So that is the expectations as a leader, like how to get started, how to get going, and some of the ways that you can foster just this community of love towards each other. And in the next video, I'm going to discuss though what happens when your group is struggling and it's not going as well as you planned. Keep walking with the King.